Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to our annual Torah Fund luncheon and our Chaye Olam Award ceremony. I want to give a special welcome to the many clergy who are attending today. There's Rabbi Nicole Guzik, Rabbi Erez Sherman, who is also an honoree tonight, Rabbi Avi Taff, Rabbi Gabriella Kornsgold, Rabbinic intern Mo Scott, Cantor Marcus Feldman, Cantor Orly Campbell. Also, a special welcome to Sinai Temple Executive Director Jessica Kareen, Sinai Temple Ritual Director Jay Harwitt, Sinai Kiba Head of School Dr. Lauren Plant, Sinai Temple Religious School Head of School Danielle Casson, also Sinai Temple's Musical Director Benjamin Fingerhut is here, and Sinai Temple's former organist, choir director, and B'nai Mitzvah tutor extraordinaire is here, Ariel Cohen, over there. It's so nice to see you in your retirement, Ariel. You look great. Finally, I also want to welcome a few dignitaries here from the Executive Committee of Pacific Southwest Region of the Women's League for Conservative Judaism. Gina Seaman, our Regional Administrative Vice President, and next year, our PSW Regional President is here. Roberta Spaccia, Vice President of Affiliate Support, and our very own Marcy Melton, who is the Regional Torah Fund Vice President. We have a very exciting and packed event for you today, including an informative and timely panel discussion with two acclaimed journalists entitled Journalism in the Post-October 7th World. Before we get started, I want to thank our Torah Fund Luncheon Committee. The members are Deborah Eisen, Shan Farahi, Cece Halegua, Jody Kagan, Jennifer Malvin, Gail Rollman, and Ruth Shmulian. I also want to thank Gina Resvanpour and her team from our Sisterhood Catering for providing this fabulous lunch and the decorations too. If you have an event coming up, please talk to Gina, see what a fabulous job she does. And thank you also to Judy Fisher, who did so many things to help with this luncheon that I could not possibly list them all. Thank you, Judy. And now, to kick things off, we will have our U.S. and Israeli anthems led by Sinai Akiba students Sydney Himmelstein and Goldie Reese, and accompanied on piano by Zachary Sherman, also a Sinai Akiba student, as well as the son of honoree, Rabbi Erez Sherman. Please rise for the anthems. Kids, come on up. Do you guys need a microphone? Here.
We
Great job, kids. That was beautiful. Okay. Next, we're going to have rabbinic intern Mo Scott, who will deliver a Devar Torah and tell us a little bit about how he has benefited from Torah Fund. Mo is a third-year student at the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies. He is a native Angelino who studied math at UCLA, after which he taught middle school and high school math for several years before he found his calling and decided to change gears and go to rabbinical school. In addition to interning here at Sinai Temple, he also interns at Congregation Or Zion in Scottsdale, Arizona, and he teaches fifth grade Bible at Valley Beth Shalom Day School. Please welcome rabbinic intern Mo Scott.
Hi, everybody. How am I supposed to follow that? I think that was the best part of this whole thing. Anyways, thank you, Sharon. Thank you all for having me. And thanks especially to Sean and Gail for inviting me to be part of this very special occasion. I'd also like to thank all who have welcomed me to Sinai over the past many months, and of course, Rabbi Guzik, for the opportunity to be here in the first place, an opportunity for which I am so grateful. But enough about me. It's my honor to wish Mazel Tov to the woman and the man of the hour, Marilyn Stern and Rabbi Sherman. Who really should be celebrated many times over. Marilyn, from what I gather, you've been giving of yourself to Sinai Temple for longer than I've been alive. Not only to the Sisterhood, but to all parts of the synagogue and to all people in the wider community. Rabbi Sherman, your leadership within and beyond the walls of this congregation is a model of Israel advocacy in our current climate, especially for an aspiring rabbi like myself who has personally benefited from the Sinai Temple Israel Fellowship that you created. Both of you share a profound commitment to Judaism and its values, to selfless service, and to kindness enacted. The three pillars of which our sages say the world stands. Thank you both for all you do to keep our world standing. The theme of this year's Torah Fund campaign is Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Ba Zeh. All the people of Israel are responsible for one another. I cannot think of a better theme in light of the present moment, which demands that each of us be responsible for all of us. We are responsible for our fellow Jews, whether they are 7,000 miles and an ocean away, or seated right next to us. And not only do we bear a responsibility for each other, but the word arevim literally means guarantee, to guarantee. What is it that we guarantee? We guarantee that we will uphold our tradition, the tradition passed on to us by our ancestors and passed on to them by their ancestors, that was ultimately given by God, and that we, God willing, will pass on to the generations after us. There's a story in the Midrash that when the people of Israel stood at Mount Sinai to receive the Torah, God said to them, "Bring me good guarantors that you will observe it, and I will give it to you." They said in response, "Master of the universe, let our ancestors be our guarantors." But God said back to them, "Your ancestors owe me big time," or something like that. So they said, "Master of the universe, let our prophets be our guarantors." And God said, "I have a claim against your prophets." So finally they said, "Master of the universe, let our children be our guarantors." And to this, God said, "Your children are certainly good guarantors. I will give you the Torah on their account." That work that you all do as part of Torah Fund to support our rabbinical schools, my rabbinical school, guarantees that students like myself, now and for many years to come, will be your guarantors to practice, preach, and love the God-given gift of our people. There's more to this word arev, though, which is why I think it's just so fitting. It also means a mixture. The Torah tells us that the Israelites left Egypt along with an erev rav, a mixed multitude of other people who joined them in escaping from tyranny to freedom. So too, the Jewish people today are fighting against tyranny and for freedom in solidarity with a mixed multitude of people of all faiths and none. In fact, we, the Jewish people, are a mixed multitude in and of ourselves, a diversity of ages and beliefs and practices and politics. And still, despite those differences, Kol Yisrael arevim ze bazeh. We are all responsible for and to each other. It is our obligation to hold each other to our best selves and to what's in the best interest of our people as a whole. Diversity can be our strength if unity is, as it must be, our highest aim. But there's yet another meaning of this word, arev, that we all could use a bit more of right now. Sweetness. We pray every morning in our liturgy, V'ha'arevna Hashem Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha befinu uvefi amcha Beit Yisrael. May the words of your Torah, God, be sweet in our mouths and in the mouths of all our people. In supporting Torah Fund, you are doing God's work. By making this prayer a reality, you are putting the sweetness of Torah in the mouths of those who want nothing more to share that sweetness with others. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for giving me the sweet gift of Torah and for enabling me to pursue my life's purpose of re-gifting this most precious present. May we all be arevim ze bazeh, responsible for each other in these challenging times. May we come together as an erev rav, a mixed multitude of ideas and talents and offerings. We need all of them. And may we uplift our community with arevut, with sweetness, whether of a deliciously catered lunch or of words of Torah spoken with sincerity, as I hope these were. Thank you.
Amen. And Yasher Koach. Thank you. Rabbi Scott, just so everybody knows what Torah Fund is, because I get asked this all the time. Torah Fund is the campaign of the Women's League for Conservative Judaism, and it supports 5 conservative Masorti seminaries in the world, there are 2 in the United States, the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies in Los Angeles, and the Jewish Theological Seminary of America in New York. It also supports the seminaries in Israel, Argentina, and Germany. The scholarships and programs funded by our Torah Fund campaign provide educational opportunities for many students who would not otherwise have them. These are students who will become our future rabbis, cantors, educators, chaplains, summer camp directors, scholars, and are leaders of the Jewish world. As Rabbi Scott shared, our own clergy have benefited from Torah Fund contributions. This year's theme, as Rabbi Scott pointed out, is Kol Yisrael arevim ze bazeh. All of Israel is responsible for one another. Never has this basis for the notion of our communal responsibility meant more to us than now, as we must support and help each other with our new reality. In this new reality, supporting the education of our future clergy, teachers, and community leaders is more important than ever, and we all are responsible for ensuring the future of the worldwide Jewish community. Your gift to Torah Fund is one way to fulfill our responsibility to each other, to ensure that we have future leaders and educators who can unite our community, who can teach us, who can lead us, who can attend to our needs as Jews, and who can help us fight hate. It is not too late to donate. And in fact, if you look on your table, if you haven't donated yet, if you look on your table, there is this donation form. If you haven't donated yet, you can fill it out and give me a check, or you can mail it to me, Or you can go to sinaitemple.org/Sisterhood Torah Fund, and you can find a link there to donate. And when you are donating online, if you donate online, please note that when they ask you for the affiliate, put in Sinai Temple Los Angeles, please. You can make a difference. All of us can make a difference. Please donate. And I want to thank all of you who already have donated. We so much appreciate it. And in particular, I want to thank and acknowledge a few of our donors this year. Our Keter Kavod donors, thank you Marilyn and Jeffrey Stern and Beverly Sternlieb. Our scholarship patron donor, thank you Judy Fisher. Our patron donors, thank you to Nancy Cattler, Joanne and Joel Mogi, Donna Rosen, and Deborah and Joel Weinstein. I also want to thank Ruth Pilot and Judy and Tom Flesh, both for their donations to Torah Fund and for their generous sponsorship for today's luncheon. And thank you again to all of you who've already donated. If you have already donated at a level and you earned a pin, which you get above certain levels, and you have not received your pin, please come see me. I have some with me. Okay, we are about to have our lunch, this beautiful lunch that was prepared. Cantor Marcus Feldman will now lead the blessings before the meal. I would ask our honorees Marilyn Stern and Rabbi Erez Sherman to stand, and as is a Hayei Olam Award ceremony tradition, will the past honorees of the Hayei Olam who are here in attendance please also stand?
Well, as our rabbinic intern, Rabbi Mo Scott, said, we have a wonderful catered meal provided to us. So right now, I'm the only thing standing in the way between us and the lunch. But I do want to mention one thing, that I look around the room, and there are some faces that are missing. Unfortunately, we have lost some people in the past year. But most importantly, right now, I'm thinking of our teacher and our Rabbi, Tzvi Dershowitz. And we're coming up on his yahrzeit, I believe, coming up in the next week or two. And Rabbi Dershowitz dedicated himself not only to our community, but to the entire Jewish community. He loved being present. You would see him all throughout the building, in Minyan and Shabbat, for all of our wonderful programs. He would lead the Motzi, he would lead Birkat HaMazon. So in his honor, I'm proud to say that the clergy is establishing the B'nai Mitzvah Dershowitz Society, that we're going to be honoring Rabbi Tzvi Dershowitz. Thank you. We encourage our students to go above and beyond, to show up, to participate, to be involved. And if they do, we're going to give them a scholarship towards a wonderful Jewish experience. So we pray that Rabbi Dershowitz's memory will be a blessing. And with that, let's join together in the Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Pretty good, Rabbi. Thank you.
We can now go up for the buffet luncheon. Notice that there are places to go on either side of the tables, this side and this side, and in the middle is the dessert. Don't forget your dessert. All right. Have at it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start our award ceremony right now, and I want to thank again our sponsors of the event, Judy and Tom Flesch, Ruth Pilot, and Anna Tenenblatt. Thank you so much. Now, to introduce our first Hayei Olam Award recipient, please welcome Rabbi Nicole Guzik.
I want to face, you hear me? I want to face Marilyn. How does one begin to describe the woman who does it all? Marilyn, you are an incredible person who lifts up her family, and you lift up this community. Not for accolades, not for recognition, but because each day you strive to make this world, and in particular, this community, better and brighter for those you love. Marilyn and I have known each other for a long time. What you may not realize is that she was concerned about anti-Semitism on the college campus years and years ago, even creating a special day devoted to students to learn about pro-Israel advocacy and Jewish involvement before they leave home to go to campus. What you may not know is that Marilyn would open my eyes as an intern to the world of inclusion and disabilities long before our program Beit Bracha even existed. What you may not know about Marilyn is how each year she hosts people in her beautiful sukkah, adding new decorations to more familiar, reminding each person that sits within that they are not only embraced by the walls of the sukkah, but moreover, embraced by the walls of her heart. What you may not know is that Marilyn is always thinking about someone else. She is the embodiment of chesed, of loving kindness. Multiple times a year, the Guzik Sherman family is the blessed recipient of her chocolate banana bread, of various meals and soups when we're sick, and on Passover, as my kids can attest, Marilyn basically ensures that my family doesn't go hungry. But I have a feeling that we're not the only family that benefits from her culinary skills, because so many of us saw Marilyn in action when she brought the challah bake into fruition, a labor of love that took hundreds of hours to plan, and plan she did to perfection. I know this is her committee, am I correct? To perfection. Marilyn and I sat down months prior, and she asked me about my vision for the community for Sinai Temple, and I said to her, I think we need something that will bring sisterhood together, a more immersive experience that connects the mind, body, and soul. And together, we said, we really need a challah bake. Well, Marilyn, you heard me as you always do, and you gathered all of us together as you always do, and you determined that we would wear pink, and we did. And the challah bake was an unbelievable success. But it wasn't only successful because we were filled in barad to capacity. It was successful because of the secret ingredient Marilyn brings to everything and everyone with whom she engages, that ingredient being ahava, being love. In fact, Marilyn, you give us the greatest example of what it means when we say Judaism is a religion of love. The philosopher Martin Buber explains that in order to love God, you must first love people. That's not easy. But he says, quite seriously, someone who says that they love God but doesn't love human beings is lying. To truly understand the essence of divine love, an active emotion that reveals and opens up otherwise locked areas of our heart, one has to be willing to give love and accept love. If we close our eyes to the ways we are meant to make an impact, if we close our eyes to those in need, those that ask for help and those that don't, then we really don't understand what it means to bring love into this world. But we need not worry, because Marilyn serves as a perfect example of divine love, constantly in motion, because you see, you listen, you act. Your heart is wide open and is providing each and every day, because this is who you are at your core. It's the example that you set for your family, this congregation, the Jewish community, for Israel, and of course, your sisterhood. Marilyn, as one of your rabbis, but also as one of your friends, I am honored to call you forward as one of this year's recipients of the Chaye Olam Award. May your heart continue to lead us, because as you do, you bring us closer to each other and closer to God. Mazel tov.
I am deeply honored and humbled to be selected by Sisterhood to receive the Hayei Olam Award and to be included among the group of past honorees whom I hold in the highest esteem. Thank you, Rabbi Guzik, for presenting me with this honor. Your beautiful words mean the world to me. What a coincidence that both Rabbi Sherman and I hail from the state of New York. I guess a lot of us do. He from Syracuse and I from Long Island. I think that was the criteria for selecting this year's honorees. I am honored to share this day with Rabbi Erez Sherman, whose leadership and dedication inspire us all. My parents and grandparents were instrumental in shaping my love for Judaism that started when I attended Beth Hagan preschool. There we would braid challah and bring it home for Shabbat. This experience, combined with my father coming home in time for my mother's Friday night dinners, taught me the importance of Jewish ritual, the beauty of Shabbat, and the significance of family. Even as a child, I understood the connection between Jewish food and our heritage. Helping my mom work on mailers for Ort instilled in me a deep appreciation for Jewish community involvement. Walking with me to and from Temple Israel on Kol Nidre and Yom Kippur, a 3-mile journey each way, my father showed me the importance of dedication and tradition. These early experiences laid the foundation for my lifelong commitment to Jewish values and community. Moving to Los Angeles was a significant chapter in my life. Sinai Temple quickly became my second home. While I am being honored for my service to the synagogue, I have received so much more from Sinai Temple. Some of my closest friends are members who have inspired me to join and become involved. We have shared good times and challenging ones and have been there to support one another. The theme of this year's Torah Fund Luncheon, Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh Bazeh, all Jews are responsible for one another, resonates with me now more than ever, especially in light of the tragic Hamas terror attack on October 7th. In times of darkness and uncertainty, it is our responsibility as a community to come together to support one another and to show resilience in the face of adversity. Over the past 30 years, I have witnessed firsthand the strength and compassion of our sisterhood and synagogue. Together, we have created programs, supported one another in times of need, and have stood together as a beacon of light in our community. As we reflect on the meaning of this award and the theme of responsibility to one another, let us also remember the importance of unity and solidarity. Together, we can overcome any challenge and continue to build a vibrant and inclusive community. For me, October 6th will be a day that lives in infamy. You're probably thinking I made a mistake with the date. October 6th was the last day of Sukkot, and that evening was Erev Simchat Torah, a time of rejoicing, and we had a party in our sukkah. After a late night, I sat down and turned on the television. To my horror, I witnessed the start of the war on Israel. Shocked and devastated, I couldn't sleep. My first thought was, this can't be true. I thought Israel and its military were invincible. What happened? My next thought was, what can we do? It was too late to call anyone or do anything. However, I knew Sinai Temple, Sisterhood, and the Jewish community would mobilize, and they did very quickly. Led by Rabbis Guzik, Sherman, and Taff, we donated items for soldiers and contributed toward the purchase of 2 ambulances. One was used in the release of hostages from Gaza. I still felt I had not done enough. I wanted to reach out to members of our synagogue with families serving in the IDF. With our Social Action Committee, we put together comfort bags, organized, and delivered them. I would not be accepting this award today were it not for the women who inspired me and served as role models. Many who I have worked with are here today, and others are with us in spirit. To members of Sisterhood, Social Action Committee, Preschool, Religious School, Sinai Akiba Academy, Sinai staff, and the maintenance team, thank you for your unwavering support and collaboration. My journey at Sinai Temple has been nothing short of transformative. I have had the opportunity to work alongside amazing individuals whose passion and commitment have made every project, program, and initiative a success. I would like to thank my family, especially my husband Jeffrey and children Andrea and Adam, for their endless encouragement and understanding, as well as those who have come from near and far to celebrate this honor, especially my mother and sister who came from New York. I plan to continue my work, helping those both outside and within our synagogue community, and am working on reaching out to senior members who are living alone. Thank you so much for coming today and celebrating this unforgettable moment with me. It has been a privilege and a joy to serve Sinai Temple and its community for the past 30 years. I am deeply grateful for this recognition.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Guzik, for the beautiful introduction. And Marilyn, that was fantastic. Thank you for your beautiful words about unity and love at this important time. Excuse me. Now, to introduce our second Hayei Olam Award, we have a very special and super secret guest presenter. Please welcome to the podium, Annie Sherman. This is the daughter of the award recipient. Come on up, Annie.
Dear Father, I am so proud of how far you have come. First, I would like to share a little story. I had always been so sad when we wouldn't get to spend Shabbat together because you had always been leading services at Shomer Torah on Shabbat. I quote myself, Abba, when are you going to come to my school? Yet, here you are today, you getting this award for being the best rabbi you can be and the best dad. You've done so much for Sinai Temple and you deserve everything in the world. You always put in your best effort to combine sports and faith, and you love your job. And instead of being a boring rabbi, you make your life a little fun and never miss a moment to make everyone smile. You are smart, courageous, upbeat, and foremost, one of the best rabbis I've ever seen. I love being a rabbi's daughter, and I know you are the child of a rabbi as well. I love being surrounded by Judaism because I feel that you never deny being a proud Jew and going to many events to support our religion. You're the best basketball player, and even though you're having fun on the court, you always remember to include some Judaism. I love hearing you talk about the next person who's going to be on your Rabbi on the Sidelines podcast and another person you met that is included in the sports world. I love spending time with you and trying new things, and my favorite thing of all is going to basketball games with you. I love watching UCLA games with you and talking about our favorite player, Adam Bona. Most importantly, I love you as a dad. You always try to make your kids your top priority no matter what moment it is. I love trying new things with you, taking trips to Philadelphia or whatever it may be. I love talking to you about anything, and most of all, I love you for you. You earned this award and you worked your hardest. Keep being you. Love you.
I'm going to read the inscription, the Chaye Olam Award, presented to Rabbi Erez Sherman in recognition of outstanding commitment to Sinai Temple and our community, most importantly by the Sinai Temple Sisterhood, this March 26, 2024. I thought Annie was getting up early today because getting ready for her volleyball game, but beautiful surprise. 3:30 in Weinberg Gym. You may know that over the last couple of weeks, Rabbi Guzik and I have moved offices from the first floor to the second floor, and it's been an interesting cathartic process to see what exactly we took along our journeys. And when I started clearing out the drawers that I took from Shomer Torah 10 years ago, actually just going to give some responsibility. Barry Wolf is here, who was a big part of that responsibility of bringing me to the West Coast, so thank you, Barry. And what I found at the bottom of the pile, something that I saved, that I didn't realize that I saved. I have no idea where it is on the computer, but it's actually my first speech that I gave as a rabbinical student, and it was a Devar Torah at a Torah Fund lunch. It was at Congregation Adith Jeshurun in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania, and the next thing that was on top of that was another speech, another Torah Fund. This time it was a Shabbat in B'nai Torah in Boca Raton, Florida. And it was the only speech when I looked at that actually my grandparents of blessed memory saw me give in person in my rabbinic journey because they were living in South Florida at the time before they passed. So what I'm really trying to say is that Torah Fund has been good to me. But I don't just mean physically in terms of visiting different places around the country, but spiritually as well. As I explained this past Shabbat, there are two different types of joy on Purim. The physical joy is me-oriented. It's what makes me happy. It's sports and music and everything like that. But the spiritual joy that the rabbis look into Purim is other-oriented. It's what makes us allow others to be happy. And that's what we're doing today, celebrating Torah Fund, bringing spiritual joy not only to the leaders that it creates, but to the communities, as Rabbi Scott said in his Devar Torah, the communities that they served. I have been blessed to be a recipient of Torah Fund in 3 different locations, in New York, in Jerusalem, and Los Angeles. And I just want to give you a few moments of that. For almost a decade of my life, from 2000 to 2009, I was a freshman at college, at Lisk College, Columbia University, and the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, and until ordination in 2009. And literally the walls, and I mean the walls of Torah Fund surrounded me. For all 4 years of college, I lived in a building of blessed memory, Matilda Schechter Residence Hall on 120th in Amsterdam. And it was there I met students like Rabbi Jason Fruithandler, who is a resident of mine as I was his resident advisor. For the last 2 years of college, it really was the prime breeding ground of my rabbinic foundation, serving literally as a pastor to other students in the dorm. But every Saturday evening in Matilda Schechter Residence Hall, we would do Havdalah, probably the only dorm in the country, where the students would gather for Havdalah in the lounge, and on the walls of that lounge were plaques. And the plaques were not individual names, but they were plaques of synagogues, of Torah Fund sisterhoods that donated to make sure that those walls continue to stand. Names of synagogues from around the country, from small southern cities that I'd never heard of before, to large metropolises. These were names who, for over 100 years, saw their mission to support the future leaders of the Jewish people. It was in those halls where I met future rabbis and cantors and educators, future synagogue presidents and future sisterhood presidents. And that was only my first 4 years at the seminary. In the next 5 years, I transferred 1 block over to Goldsmith Hall, also of blessed memory, on 121st and Broadway, where I met my wife, Rabbi Nicole Guzik. At that time, roommates with a future cantor Ariane Brown, where I also was in Talmud class with a future rabbi, Rabbi Ehud Sela. It was there Rabbi Guzik would tell me about warm, sunny marches in California. One day she'd show me the light that the Jewish life out west was as great as it was back east. In fact, the panel that you're about to hear, also all from New York. And we're all here for some reason or another. But in our 3rd year of rabbinical school, Rabbi Guzik and I, as you've heard multiple times, we studied in Jerusalem also at Machon Schechter, a recipient of Torah Fund scholarships. There we met fellow Israeli rabbinical students in the conservative movement. And to see the fruits of Torah Fund's labor, in 2008, while we were there, we were at the groundbreaking of the new Schechter Institute building, which is the new building that it is today. It was there Rabbi Guzik and I started dating. It was there where we got engaged in our last year of rabbinical school, and it was there in Jerusalem where just 6 and 7 months ago, we took our children for the first time. In fact, many of you don't know this, but the day after we got engaged, the trip wasn't over yet. We was leading a trip from Temple Shalom of Greenwich, Connecticut, and Rabbi Guzik said, I have to go back to Sinai Temple. So we just got engaged. I have to go back for Sisterhood Shabbat. It was that weekend where you were going to be on the Bima to make sure that Torah Fund was in its place. And it was there, of course, that Zionism and the state of Israel and the Jewish people were going to be at the forefront of our rabbinate. And finally, right here in Los Angeles, at Sinai Temple with the Ziegler School of Rabbinical Studies, I've observed with joy Rabbi Guzik's leadership of sisterhood here at Sinai, always there to help others in our community. Whether it's an amazing kiddush, as our daughter always asks, will there be lox today? It's the first thing. Sending kids to Camp Ramah for scholarships, which we have witnessed with our own eyes, transforms Jewish identities, or any other need that Marilyn and her team and your leadership steps up on a daily basis. At the Ziegler School, I've been privileged to teach in the Miller Introduction to Judaism to program, bringing those who are converting to Judaism into the fold, serving on admissions committees for future rabbis, and working with rabbis, including our own Rabbi Taff and Rabbi Kornsgold, graduates of the Jewish Theological Seminary, and our intern, Rabbi Mo Scott. Torah Fund is not simply a check that you write, and it's not simply a pin that you wear, but it's who we are and will be as a community. It was here at Sinai that I witnessed the Sisterhood as the spines of this community. It was here that I've seen the tireless effort of Marilyn with the Social Action Committee and Atid and every other committee. I've witnessed your love of Judaism, Marilyn, that you've gifted to your family, and now we know where it comes from your family. And finally, we can't talk about Sisterhood without talking about the future. There's this 2 tables right over here that are Sinai Akiba Academy moms, and I am so proud that they are here today, so thank you. In just a moment, you will hear from 2 moms, Jackie Karsh and Lisa Daftari, all stars in their fields of media and teaching the world about Israel. But truthfully, what I witness every single day is that they're all-star mothers and parents who teach their children, literally their children, what it means to be a proud Jew in a proud community in a proud country. This is a place that Rabbi Guzik and I are honored to raise our daughter and our children around strong Jewish women. I used to think Torah Fund allowed me all of my days, followed me all of my days, but I was wrong. I realize now that I have followed Torah Fund. And I also have to acknowledge not just Rabbi Guzik and our daughter Annie, but the generations before. And that's, of course, my mother-in-law Ellen Guzik, who was Sisterhood president of Temple Eilat and literally served and continues to serve within the Sinai Temple Sisterhood as well. And, of course, my father-in-law Harvey Guzik, who's always by our side. And so finally, as we go from Purim to Pesach and we count, and we'll count from Pesach to Shavuot, we should also every day count those moments of joy that we all have in this sometimes deep and dark world that we do live in. We are so grateful that we have those moments, not only of physical joy, but the spiritual joy that Torah Fund will continue to bring us throughout the years. Thank you so much, and I look forward to the continued work of Sisterhood and Torah Fund as well. Thank you.
All right, please don't go anywhere. We're going to be starting our panel very, very soon. Please go get some dessert and some tea or coffee, and we'll be starting in just a minute. And I want to let you know, first of all, I think I forgot to tell you that my name is Sharon Gold, and the reason I am the MC is because I, too, am from New York.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Uh,